me over 10 years to realize something that I can share with you in less than 10 minutes. Think about that for a second. Did you know there's a tax you're paying every single day? And no, I'm not talking about the lovely contributions our government happily deducts. I'm talking about the wisdom tax, my friends. The hidden cost of learning things the hard way when you could have cracked the code years sooner. Every mistake, every wrong turn, every if only I knew this earlier moment. It all adds up. But what if you could skip ahead? What if you could pay less of this tax and fast track your way to smarter decisions? Well, that's exactly what we're about to do. Most people take decades to stumble upon truths that honestly could have been explained in a 5-minute conversation with the right person. But instead, we insist on running face first into every possible mistake, taking the scenic route through struggle before finally saying, oh, that's how that works. It's the human equivalent of refusing to ask for directions, except the road is life and the detours are expensive. Drop a comment if this is you. And if you've ever thought, man, I wish I knew this 10 years ago, congrats, you have paid the wisdom tax, but there's no refund on this one. The good news? Life follows patterns, and once you start seeing them, you can skip a ridiculous amount of unnecessary suffering. The bad news? Most of us are still out here winging it. So let's talk about the biggest mental upgrades that took me years to figure out, but might just save you some serious time. Your mindset is basically the software running your life. Some people are operating on the latest update, fast, efficient, and optimized. Others? Well, they're still running Windows 95, crashing every time life hits them with a pop-up they weren't prepared for. So, which one are you? Ever notice how two people can look at the same situation and come to wildly different conclusions? That's not personality. This is mental models. For example, most people believe there's never enough time. They run around like their schedule was designed by someone blindfolded. But what if the problem isn't the number of hours in a day? What if it's the way we think about time? We all have the same 24 hours, right? If you ask the average person how to get more done, they'll tell you to be more efficient. Translation: do more things, but do them faster. This is why we have people eating lunch while responding to emails and listening to a podcast on productivity at 2x speed. Here's a better idea. Instead of shoving more into each day, change how you prioritize. Because the real issue isn't time. It's how we waste it on things that don't actually move the needle, like scrolling on social media for hours when you know you're supposed to be doing something else. But to do this, you have to see your own mental blind spots, which is about as easy as reading the back of your own head. One trick? Inversion. Instead of asking, what should I do? Ask, what should I stop doing? Sometimes progress is less about adding and more about deleting. Think about it. If your life were a phone, would you keep downloading new apps when your storage is already full of junk? Or would you finally delete those 47 unread emails, that to-do list from 2018, and that app you swore you'd use to learn Italian? Exactly. Take a minute and ask yourself, what can I delete from my life right now that isn't important or beneficial to my life at all? Next, we want to talk about attention. Your attention is basically the most valuable resource you have, and yet most people treat it like it's free refills at the movie theater Slurpee machine. Here's the hard truth. If you don't control your attention, someone else will. And they're probably monetizing it. Get what I'm saying? Think about all the videos you've consumed and gained nothing but a few giggles. While you had a good laugh, someone else had your attention, and they most definitely monetized it. Even this video right now, obviously I need your attention, but is watching this video a waste of time, or is it something you need to watch? The world isn't designed to help you focus. It's designed to distract you just enough that you don't notice you've spent 3 hours scrolling TikTok, and now you're late for whatever important thing you were supposed to be doing. And yet, when people feel overwhelmed, what do they try to fix? Their time management. That's like realizing your boat is sinking and deciding to optimize your rowing technique instead of patching the hole. The real move? Attention management. Try this. Be aggressively selective about what you let into your brain. Unfollow, unsubscribe, and mute anything that clutters your focus. You don't need more information. You need better filters, because the problem isn't that you don't know enough. It's that your brain is like a computer with 57 tabs open, and at least 3 of them are playing music, but you can't figure out which ones. Life is basically just a long series of decisions, and yet nobody ever sat you down and said, hey, here's how to actually make a good one. It sucks to hear, but unfortunately our own parents don't even show us or tell us how to make good decisions. They just want us to do whatever they did because they're older and they know everything. I don't know about you guys, but when I look at my parents' life, it's definitely not a good path to follow. Most people make decisions like they're picking random items off a restaurant menu, except the consequences aren't just a bad meal, they're a bad decade or two. So here's a simple system to instantly make better choices. The 72-hour rule. If a decision feels urgent but isn't actually life or death, wait 3 days before deciding. Half of your so-called urgent decisions will solve themselves. Second order thinking. Always ask, and then what? Because most bad choices feel great in the short term and terrible later. Perfect examples would be impulse purchases, texting your ex, or eating an entire pizza alone. I'm guilty of the last one. Inversion, again, because it's that good. Instead of asking, how do I succeed, ask, how do I avoid failure? It's often easier to identify what not to do. We spend hours over analyzing a $50 Amazon purchase, but when it comes to career moves, relationships, or major life choices, I'll just wing it and hope for the best. Maybe don't? Here's the real kicker. You probably already know a lot of what I just said, and yet, will you actually apply it? That's the implementation gap. The space between knowing and doing. The place where most good intentions go to die. We live in a time where you can learn almost anything for free. The problem isn't lack of knowledge, it's that we binge watch information and then do nothing with it. It's like downloading a workout app and thinking that somehow counts as exercise. The secret? Tiny, consistent actions. Not big, dramatic efforts. It's why the person who works out 15 minutes a day gets in better shape than the person who goes all in for a week and then quits. And yet, most people think change happens in one massive, life-altering moment. Nope. It happens in small, boring, daily choices that stack up over time. So if you've been waiting for a sign to start making smarter decisions, managing your attention better, and closing the gap between what you know and what you do, this is it. Now go update that mental software before you waste another year figuring out something you could have learned today.